So they was, like I said, there was distribution. It was like in the early '60s when it was founded. The owner, Shay, I messed up his whole name. It doesn't matter on that point, but
And that's it for Travis's treasure.
No, because y'all got me thrown on the other stuff. So, anyways, he was 23 years old when he founded the company, Robert Shea. All right.
Welcome to the Big Hammock Podcast, the only podcast where we promote our movie and avoid the seriousness of ourselves. We also chat with indie filmmakers who somehow make movies with zero sleep and tiny budgets. We make fun of Travis too. So kick back, relax, and swing with us in the Big Hammock Podcast. You can purchase our movie, thebighammock.com. That's the reason why we started this podcast, and we are having some fun with it.
About the Big Hammock Podcast time.
Off of the episodes before, we like to make fun of each other. We don't take ourselves seriously, but we take the podcast seriously. So by all means, if you want to make fun of Travis, go ahead.
Yes,
you can definitely do that. And it's the Big Hammock Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Shear, along with the co-host, Travis, cameraman, Cecil, soundboard operator, editor, the best, Malcolm We are coming to you via YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart. This episode is brought to you by The Big Hammock Movie. You can purchase it at thebighammock.com. That's one word, thebighammock.com. Travis, what'd you think about your introduction there, bud? You're zoned into the phone, ignoring us.
That's why he gotta.
I'm just, mentally soaking all this stuff in.
That's why I went extra on it.
Doesn't he look extra stressed? Stressed
dude, he's a grumpy old man.
He just seemed to get loose.
Every Monday we come here just to on Travis.
That's the show.
I'm growing into that character. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I've been watching Sesame Street with the kids and everything. Now I know what Ostriger Grouch actually feels like. You know, It's like move over.
We've been
wonder why he's so grouchy, bro.
We've been doing this for nearly a year now. You should know the game by now,
bro. He's just not getting rid of it.
I get the game.
He's just now accepting it.
He's just now accepting it. He's not getting rid of it.
It is what it is, man. Everybody's got a part. Yeah.
I knew that cheer, man.
Everybody got a part to play, bro. I'm that guy.
You got a big part to play.
That's why I got into the clone game. I started stepping up, trying to smell better because,
bro.
You guys don't trash on me all the time. So, gotta keep it going.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
There you go.
All right, today we have an exciting one. If you are into anything filmmaking, movie viewing, in today's case, we have our first action drama movie we're going to be reviewing with the director. We'll also be talking about his up-and-coming projects, and I am sure we're going to be swapping stories on how we make our films with microbudgets. And if any of this intrigues you, this podcast is for you. Don't forget, we will do Haters of the Week, Travis's Treasures, Malcolm's Western Movie Review.
Yes.
And, of course, we'll shout out our new... Nope, Travis said there's no new social media followers.
There's one.
Oh, we get one more.
There is one.
My bad. Scratch it.
Yeah, we're going to say it.
And we are continuing our road to 1 million views.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, this is another one this week out of United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Director, you can view his movie Simmer on Fandango right now.
And Amazon Prime, don't forget that.
And Amazon Prime.
Across the pond, as they say.
Yeah.
That's it. He is the writer and director. Out of the movies we have reviewed, this one has been my favorite thus far. I'll probably watch it again this weekend. That's how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I watched it twice today because I watched it the first time just to, study for the film. And then I watched it that second time, and it was just like, again, it did the same thing to me. Like, everything blocked out from the world, and I was able to zone in.
Not only am I going to watch it again, I can't wait to watch it again. And I'm not being patronizing or just blowing smoke. Like, I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And you know what? I know you're telling the truth because you called me and you said,
yeah,
you're working today?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing this afternoon before the podcast? I said, I don't know. I'm working. He's like, if you don't watch this movie, he's like, you got to watch this movie.
And he did.
So I was like, okay.
So, all that's true. See, that's how you do me right there, Malcolm. So you take care of me, crap on Travis. That's how
there you go. Yeah, that's all right. I only got an announcement for you boys with our partnership, later on in the show. But
Okay.
That's why we still love you.
So you got some more coming down the pipeline for us.
I got a little bit of stuff coming down the pipeline for you boys.
Are we
depends.
Are we bringing out? Are we busting out announcements that we've been keeping secret?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna break them for tonight's episode.
Okay.
And then we'll probably have to go live because this episode is gonna air later in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I think right afterwards, we can go live on Facebook and then make some announcements that way. So
all right, we'll do
because
that.
the announcements I got to make are like just right around the corner. So
tighten up for our guest hangs up.
Yes, for sure. So we're going to bring him on. His name is Stefan Van de Graaff. I hope I said that right. But before we bring him on, we want you to introduce the audience to his movie Simmer. Check out this here trailer.
My next question is one that I hate to ask, but I must.
Okay.
Are you here legally?
Yes.
And what about your family?
Breaking news out of Washington tonight as landmark legislation gains new momentum. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have already begun the process of deporting 5 million illegal immigrants. Along with the change, however, comes a new pathway to citizenship, which is being called the American Dream Fee. By paying $20,000 per individual, the payer is granted immediate citizenship.
How many members of your family need to pay the fee?
Why?
I can help you. All you need to do is pick up a car from across town, drive it to a specific address, and leave it there. If you do this for me, I'll pay you $20,000.
But what am I delivering?
Just a car.
What's in the car?
There's only one rule. Never open the trunk.
All right, here he is. We are bringing all the way from the United Kingdom, director, writer of Simmer, Stefan Van de Graaff. Look at him. Wow. He's like, I messed up. I cannot get the name right. I'm sorry, Stefan.
And just to let you know, Stefan, he's reading this and he's been preparing for this all day. So sorry a third grader brought you up.
Wait, hold on. We got to do that again. What? Start over. Ready?
Stefan.
Hold on. All right, take two.
right,
Yeah,
all
okay,
right,
take two.
all right,
Ready?
there we go.
And the trailer just finished.
All right, here we go. I don't want to keep him waiting anymore. Welcome to the show, all the way from the United Kingdom, Stefan Van de Graaff. First of all, Stefan, let me just say what. No, he's right here. First of all, Stefan, let me just say, wow. Thank you for coming on the show and talking to us about your movie.
You got the poor guy looking at the ceiling on your phone, man.
Well, I can't. I'm not paying. I can't do that. I'll get distracted. You can watch him if you want to. You want to watch him?
I want to see you guys' handsome faces.
All right, there you go.
No,
You can look at
this is
Travis.
my honor.
There you go. I'll take it over here, Zach. We'll do it this way.
Yeah, I got a show to follow. I got.
He's got to read a script.
Yeah, you got a script that you can't even read.
Shut
Get you hooked on phonics.
First of all, Stefan, I mean, again, the story of Simmer, the action, the camera work, great job, sir.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, guys. That truly, that means a lot. I think when you go and you make a micro budget film, you kind of expect everybody to hate it. So it's nice when somebody doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you wrote it, you directed it, you were able to get over 1 million views on Facebook. You were able to sell it to HBO Max. And again, this was your first movie you ever directed.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of luck, but yes.
No, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, you got me mad right now because my first one sucked, but yours should have been like in the theaters all across the country. Well, you're in another country, so I guess that don't make sense. But both countries, it should have been across
that
both
country.
countries.
but I want to
No,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think that again, when you make a micro budget film, you're kind of like, as you guys know, like you're rolling the dice. You really don't know how a lot of it's gonna turn out. You don't know how people are gonna react to it. So all in all, it was a lot of luck. We were very, very fortunate.
So I want to talk about some of that luck that you're calling it. Again, from us, we're not calling it luck, but if you want to run that way, we can. It's from one filmmaker to another, we can definitely relate to a lot of the scenarios that we're going to talk about. I mean, I think it all starts with the story. Again, then you've got obviously your as you're writing the film, you can sometimes you can picture in your head already who your cast is. You can picture in your head already some locations, but it all starts with that story. And obviously you wrote the film Simmer. So I want to ask you, how did you come up with that script to that movie?
That's a good question. So it was interesting. I've always been somebody who's like really inspired by location, and the resort where we ended up actually filming, it's actually a golf club in the mountains in Utah.
It struck in Utah. Okay. It struck me as a golf course, like a country club is what it struck me as.
A country club.
But I didn't realize it was in Utah.
Yeah, I was living out there at the time, working for an ad agency, and made a lot of my connections that way in the film world. And one day I was at this golf course, and I was eating. They had this kind of big area where some of the scenes were filmed, and it was interesting. It was like in my mind's eye, across the room, up against like those huge windows. I just saw this conversation happening. Again, in my mind's eye, it wasn't a real thing, but I could just see this quiet conversation happening that felt like it was heavy and serious and weighty. And I just remember thinking, what are those guys talking about? Which all sounds maybe a little, a little pretentious or something, but that was literally where the story came from. Is I sat down that night and I kind of started putting together this conversation of what could possibly be so intense and so serious that these guys are just like gripped in this big shell of a building, gorgeous, but just and that's where the story ultimately began. As any story, it sort of blossoms from there, and you unfold it out, and it's kind of fun because when you're writing it, it's like you get to see the film for the first time, and you're constantly exposed to new things. Like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. And so, anyways, it sort of unfolded from that. But that was where it began. I was eating in that restaurant, and I could just see the conversation.
I'm wild right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he took you to that place because, like, when the movie opens up and he's in that job interview, you get that nice slow push into this conversation, and it's like he's slowly pulling you into to the feeling of what the characters are going through at that particular point and everything, and it's just it really sucked you in with that writing. Bro.
I mean the story again. I mean just the subject matter, number one, of the main character and what he was working for and what he was trying to do. I mean that's a real thing that's going over here in the United States right now. That can definitely pull some triggers either way. And obviously. For sure. And again, as you're sitting here and you're talking about, I can't believe that restaurant actually just sitting there eating is what inspired the entire, the entire movie. As you're writing the script and you get it wrote out, and you finish it up and you crossed your last T and dotted your last I. Did you have in your head any cast already, or did you have to search for them? In other words, how did you come up with your cast for this film?
It's a good question. So I'd written a bit to some actors that I like, people who I knew we would not be able to get on the budget that we were making, but I sort of had a vision in my head, and I was able to take that. It was interesting. I found that a lot more talent agencies in Europe list their roster of actors. A lot of the talent agencies in the United States, it's sort of behind a wall. You have to inquire. But over there, they just post people. They post their reels. They post their headshots. And so I just spent days just pouring through talent agencies in Germany, talent agencies in the UK, talent agencies, and ultimately, again, kind of had a vision of the type of person I wanted in it. And then it was just a matter of going and finding the person who would do it. So eventually, we found the actor that plays Faust, he ultimately came from the UK. And then the actor that plays Chef, he was, that was a little bit more of just a godsend, because we were looking for something very specific, and we needed a really brilliant actor who could carry a film. And fortunately, we found him in Utah at a casting call. We literally put out an open casting call, and he showed up, and it was truly one of those stories where he was the last guy of the day.
Nice.
And me and the co-director, we were looking at each other. We're like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we've got it. Like we might have to go. We might have to go to LA. We might have to go to a few other places to look for this guy. And then last guy came in, and it was like, that's him. That's him. Like we just knew it immediately.
Cool
so
story.
Got pretty lucky.
I want to remind the audience real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. Anybody who subscribes after watching this episode, we're going to be sure to give Stefan the credit for it. So listeners, do not forget, get that subscription going. I want to continue. I'm intrigued with the casting calls, and I'm asking these things for very specific reasons. Number one, again, we're filmmakers ourselves, and we've definitely got a little bit of backwoods country in us down in Florida. You talk about micro budgets. I mean, we're really micro. We're talking $0 budgets that we do this stuff with, and but I can't imagine putting together a casting call. I don't know if you could. I mean, what that would be like. No. I picture like the Beverly Hillbillies when the secretary gets the line for the wives and they're all lined up.
No.
I mean, how many people come to these casting calls? Like, how many videos did you watch, and how many casting call, like how many people showed up that day? I mean, I'm curious about that.
Dozens, maybe close to 100. I think that you guys, even on a $0 budget, like I think actors want to work in feature films.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to get people for free work for a commercial, that's really hard. If you're looking to get free work for a short film, that's difficult.
Yeah.
If you're looking for free work on a feature film, it's still hard, but you'll find people who are like, this is good for me. It's a good thing for my reel. And so, we were able to pay everybody, but it wasn't much. And we had a great turnout of
You're making me look bad, Stefan. I couldn't pay these guys.
Sorry.
I couldn't even feed them, and you're making me look bad, man.
Nah. No, it's gonna happen for us one day.
We lived on Jimmy John's for the 3 weeks that we made the movie.
There you go, bro.
You're making me look real bad, Stefan. You're making me look real bad.
So I know that cameraman Travis Cecil is on the edge of a seat wanting to ask that question, but I gotta ask, like, how did you come up with those shots? I think there was so many nice shots, by the way. I mean, just over the restaurant, the mountains, and I don't know what type of lens work that was, where everything was kind of fuzzy and focused in. I don't know what that is. These guys would know before I would, but there was. I want to talk about the car chase shots. Like, how did you pull those off?
Oh man. So with some difficulty, we spent a lot of time, they have these kind of big suction cup mounts that you can put on the hood of your car or on the door or whatever. And, we spent a lot of time rigging those up. I swear I could go the rest of my life without ever having to look at one of those again.
It's funny you
but
say
yeah,
that. We made a trip up to Ohio, and Malcolm tried to set one up, and we didn't set it up. That's how that went.
Oh, did it fall off?
I think it was too close.
Yeah, well, we
okay.
didn't have a very big one, so the camera wasn't.
Yeah.
It was too heavy.
This camera couldn't fit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you figured that out before you went and drove with it on there, because that could have been a costly mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
So you put the suction cups on the hood of the car, and you obviously a lot of trial and error there. And then I'm assuming you had the lighting in the background. It was a good touch. It worked out perfect.
I appreciate that. Well, a lot of credit goes to our director of photography, Benji Allred. He truly was a genius on the film. He had so many of those ideas himself.
Nice.
He was extremely creative, and so as you guys know, I mean, you're really only as good as the sum of your parts. And so I think surrounding yourself with good people is the best you can hope for.
Oh yeah, and piggybacking off of what Zach was talking about, I was just curious of what you guys filmed on. Normally, I can kind of guess it. Like, it looked like it looked like it had the red color palette and everything to it. I didn't know if it was like one of the red weapons or something like that.
I'm trying to remember now. We shot it on a red. I think we shot it on a red Komodo.
Komodo, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my go-tos. They kind of come down in price, and I was thinking about picking a couple of them up, but yeah, I really love the red color science and everything, and it looked beautiful. Because that's what I was gonna ask. Was it like the Komodo or something that you guys attached to the drones and then got those shots? Because everything was so well connected together, it looked like it all came from the same camera.
We were fortunate that we had a friend who was able to rig it to a drone for us.
Nice.
He had a drone company, and he was free one night or one day basically. So we took him around for one day and shot a bunch of. We knew we had to get a bunch of coverage with it. So yeah, we got pretty lucky just phoning in a friend.
So I got a question about, like, how much storage space did you need for that full-length feature? Like, how much storage did you have on just for the edit?
I want to say it was close to 2 to 3 terabytes. It was, red, those files tend to be pretty big.
Yeah.
And so I maybe it was even 4 terabytes. I think we were on such a budget that we were trying to be very choosy about, we try to be careful about, calling cut when we needed to call cut and not just letting the camera roll and things save some money. But yeah, I think it came out to be about 4 terabytes. And, once you have the edited version, it's, I think, maybe 50 gigs or something like that. It's much smaller, but all of the raw footage, it was pretty beefy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's what me and Malcolm keep going back and forth about. Because we are prepping for another film towards the end of the year and stuff like that. And that's was his biggest concern, because it's like, I'm a big fan of red. I love the red metadata. I love the workflow and everything. And he loves Panasonic, so it's just kind of like going back and forth on stuff like that. But no, man. I love the insight on that.
Well, I just recently bought the Nikon ZR. I've been just playing around with that. That's a pretty amazing way to get the red color science into a really affordable camera. So
there you go. Yeah. There you go. There's a little tip for you, Malcolm.
Yeah, I've been hearing about those.
You talk about
they're like $2,000. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You've been talking, we've obviously mentioned, the micro budget, which, these questions make it a little personal for you. But, I mean, let's face it, we're not done making movies. None of us are, right? And I'm curious, you call $75,000 a micro budget. We look at that and that's a mega budget. I do want to ask, like,
That's because he didn't get fed on set. Stefan. I couldn't even feed him.
how did you come up? How did the funds come forward? And if that's too personal, then we can go another direction. But if I could help Malcolm in the future and get some funds like that, I sure would.
I like that question, Zach.
I'd like to get fed for the next one.
Yeah. Jimmy John.
There you go.
I'd like some Jimmy Johns.
Oodles and noodles for you, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Ramen. I'm an open book about this stuff. I think that this is like information that's way too gatekept in the industry, and I don't really understand why. But we ultimately were able to raise those funds from about 4 or 5. I'm trying to remember now. I think it was 5 different individuals that we raised equity from.
Nice.
And one of those individuals was me. I had been working at an ad agency and just pulling up money. And talked to my wife and said, look, I got to make a film. I've talked about it since I was a kid. I just got to go do it. And we saving up money to go and spend it on this thing. And she was very supportive. So I guess I should say, the precursor to all of this is have a supportive wife.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, and then you go and you just pitch people on the idea and you tell them what you're going to do, and it isn't lost on me that not everybody even has those relationships that you could even call somebody and ask them for a check, and so that isn't lost on me. And I truly think that even since we made that film, the cost to make films has come down. I think I could make that film even cheaper today, to be honest. And so I wouldn't look at your $0 and say you're not playing in the you're not playing in the real leagues. Like I think that we're moving into an era of filmmaking where if you've got a camera, if you got an iPhone, and you got a story, and you got some people who are willing to act for you, you've got all the stuff that you need to go make a film.
You're not the first person that said that on here, for sure.
Scoot up to the mic, Zach. I know you like to lean back and forth, but audio does sound a lot better when you're near it. But no. Speaking of jumping back off of what you said, and stuff like that. Like, did you create concept package, like any kind of like concept art, maybe a pitch trailer and stuff like that for your investors to sit down and get the idea for where you was going with that film?
Yeah, we had a deck.
Okay.
I don't think we had any trailer or anything like that, but we had some kind of mood board stuff.
Nice.
We had the script. We had a few slides that we were sharing with people, pitching them on the vision, and telling them our background, that I had made a bunch of commercials with the co-director I made it with, Nick Rush.
Nice.
And so, it wasn't our first time around a camera. We knew what we were doing on set. So we had some credibility, albeit, very small amount, but it was enough to, convince people maybe against their best judgment to give us some money to go make it.
Nice. So let me ask this, because you was talking about gatekeeping and all that stuff earlier. What kind of other information do you got for like up and coming filmmakers that maybe, they may be afraid and think that, that they might not be able to make their first film or you got to be at the top of the food chain to get the type of actor or anything for their film? What would you tell them?
That's a really good question. I could honestly, I could go on about this for hours. I think that there are so many things that if you don't, like me, don't have a network in this, didn't go to film school, don't have friends in the industry, and you just wanted to go and make a film, you really are left, to your own devices, and it's pretty unfair. It's stacked against you. But so a couple of the ones that come to mind right away are, first of all, shoot your shot with the people you want to cast. And maybe not A-listers if it's your first film. You're going to save yourself a lot of time because you're going to get a lot of no's there. But I mean, here's like a very practical tip. If you go onto the app Cameo, Cameo is where celebrities and former celebrities will, they'll send happy birthday videos and whatever
Yep.
to people. If you reach out to people on that platform, they will act in your work. You don't need a big name to get some movement.
Yeah.
If you have a recognizable face who is even if they're a C tier actor, but they were in a popular show in the 90s, but people know them,
Mm-hmm.
they'll work. And you may not have to pay them much. And then if they love the script, they may even come for free. And I just think that don't be afraid to go and get a name in your film because it feels out of reach. There are certain names that are. If you called Brad Pitt, he's not going to return your call.
Yeah.
But if you go and you find people who used to be bigger performers or a lot of TV actors that want to break into film, that's a super common trend. Those people, you'd be surprised at who you can get. There's a lot of them. I've worked with Danny Trejo on things, and it's like
Nice.
that's a recognizable face. People know who Danny Trejo is, and
Machete, bro.
and exactly,
Yeah.
and he doesn't, he'll work. He's a cool guy, and he likes cool projects. And so if you call him, it's like there's a good chance he's going to hear you out and say, yeah, let's talk about it. That's I think one of the biggest ones, and then beyond that, I'd say. The important thing to know is that I think that people underestimate the power they have if they can start building their own social following.
Yep.
You guys are doing it with the podcast. You've got people who listen to you and trust you, and they'll watch what you put out. And so I think if you're an independent filmmaker, as frustrating as it may be, going and doing the hard work of building a social media following, you'll be able to cross a lot more bridges in 6 months or a year from now than you might think. So that's the other one. I'd say just start building, start posting, start getting, even if it's 500 people, just go get people to follow you and who can support your project, and that can make a big difference.
I tell you what, that is some valuable insight right there. I know that it's definitely something Malcolm's talked about for the next movie.
Oh yeah.
Definitely bringing in somebody that's recognizable. Great insight, and that kind of leads into one of the questions I had, which was, you have another movie coming out, One of Us, and that's coming up this month, I believe. What was something you learned from Simmer that you changed? Or learn that you changed on the set of One of Us? Could be production, could be post-production, could be marketing, etc. What was something you learned from Simmer and changed for One of Us?
Man, that's another really good question. I think honestly, the biggest thing is that I just dreamt a little bigger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, I think when it's easy to kind of get. Again, because I think that the cards are stacked against you so much as it is when you're a micro budget filmmaker. It's very easy to kind of get into. You already feel delusional, and maybe people already tell you that you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, every time.
And that voice can become so dominating that you kind of think, I got to do the practical thing. I got to. And honestly, I think that this time around, I had a good producer who I was working with, and she just kind of kept pushing us to go bigger and say, she just was not afraid of just dreaming a little bigger than I ever would have on my own. And so I would say that that's the biggest thing is that you'd be surprised at how many people might be willing to give you money. Or another avenue, actually, here's another kind of tip that is also maybe relevant. Maybe two tips in this. There's more money out there than you think. And you just kind of have to get maybe a little clever in how to get it. But as a big example, brands. And I had a friend who funded $100,000 film, and a brand paid for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think those types of things, when it's kind of like, it's very easy to say, look, I don't have any money, I don't have contacts that can give us any money. Like, you might be surprised, and if we turn it to you guys have a platform, you have
Yeah.
a podcast that people listen to. You've been building a career, you have heritage in doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
think
we
that
can
if
get
you
a
went-
brand
if you-
hammock
if you went-
company. A brand hammock company can sponsor
I'm-
us, Malcolm.
Sorry about that,
I'm not
Stefan.
even- I'm
His
not even
name's
joking.
his name's the interrupter for a reason, and he just
Yeah.
cut my man off right there.
Yeah,
in
you'll
the
see it
middle.
on the intro. That's his name, the Interrupter.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
but no, brand
Well,
brand
he's
deals
not
are
wrong.
yeah, brand deals are a good way to go. There was with my film that I've been working for the past few years on, Wicked Ally. We was trying to go down that realm of looking for certain brands for certain product placements and stuff like that to try to create funding and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So man, that's amazing that you brought that up.
So what is
Yeah.
what is One of Us about?
Okay, so One of Us is a little bit of a departure from Simmer. It still is in the thriller space, but
Yep.
a little bit less genre and a little bit and much less action. It's not an action film, though I do dream. I've got another action film that I'm going to make, some other day when I have more money. But One of Us is about a young man who goes to a funeral, his grandmother's funeral. And one by one, members of his family begin dying at the funeral. And he is tasked to figure out who is the stranger in the midst of his family that has been killing everyone before the clock runs out. So it's all contained in this one house, and it takes place over one night. And it's a very psychological, kind of allegorical film.
Nice.
Obviously, I'm very interested in films that deal with family matters. I think that those, family is just such an integral piece to the types of films that I'm interested in making.
Mhm.
And that part does kind of, carry over, and it is very much a thriller, but much less on the action side.
Nice. How'd you go about getting Kit Connors for the film?
Oh man, that's a crazy story. So here's another tip. When we were casting for this film, we had a little bit of not a little bit. We had a much bigger budget as a consequence of making Simmer, and so we knew we were going to be able to go and pay to get an actor in it,
Mhm.
or some people who are more name actors. And we started casting out of LA through some of the big, talent agencies out there. And I'll tell you, they just did not have the time of day for us. They did
Wow.
not care one iota what we were doing. We could barely get somebody to read, even when we were going out with offers. I mean, we were coming in with, literally like a check saying,
Yeah.
look, this is an actor that we're interested in. If they're available, let's work on their schedule. We would love to cast them. They couldn't care less. And then we had a casting director who said, look, you should go. And we knew that we wanted to cast it out of the UK. But, they said, but we had been working through their LA agents.
Yeah.
They said, go and talk to their UK agents. UK agents are way more agreeable. They're ready to work with you. You got to get out of the big markets. You got to go and talk to them over there. And so we did, and that was true. They find, immediately they were picking up our phone calls, replying to our emails,
Nice.
expressing interest in working on it. They were volunteering people that were, potentially interested. And we had cast actually another actor to play the lead in the film. And I had Kit on my roster for a long time on my short list. I was a little concerned that maybe he would skew a little too young for the role.
Yeah.
And our actor ended up getting sick. And so about 2 weeks before we filmed, I literally had to go and recast it. And
Oh, wow.
I reached out to his agent, and she works for a big agency over in London. She said, well, let me see who else we've got. She sent me a list. And Kit was on the list, and immediately I was like, well, that Kit's the guy, because he was already on my short list, and I had one phone call with him, and basically he and I just really clicked. He just really understood the film, and he had a lot of experience doing kind of in a theater background, which this film is a bit theatrical in nature. And so it was just kind of a match made in heaven, and we got very lucky. This is another one of those instances where we just got very lucky to get him.
Nice.
And it's been fortunate.
When does it come out?
So we premiere at the Manchester Film Festival in a few days, on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll do a little festival run here where we'll tour around a little bit and screen at some different festivals. Some we're still waiting to hear back from, and then hopefully at the end of this year we'll have struck the distribution deal to release it publicly.
Nice. Looking forward. So I got a question on that. With coming from our indie world and stuff, how do you tackle distribution? Because with Simmer, he was able to get in a room somewhere to have that HBO deal. Did you have to go through sales agents? Did you sit down with an actual distributor, or did you ever think of just like selling it personally?
Yeah, the thought definitely crossed our mind to sell it personally. The thought continues to cross our mind. I think it will always cross my mind, because there's just more and more need, I think, for filmmakers to be able to distribute their own work. But with Simmer specifically, we did have a sales agent.
Yeah.
And we got the sales agent, by consequence of this sort of viral marketing stunt that we did.
Yeah.
But the sale to HBO, again, it truly was lucky, because the way that a lot of these sales agencies work, and for what it's worth, here's another tip.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sharks out there.
Yes, sir.
If you're going to be working with a sales agent, you gotta be extra cautious, because there are a lot of people who will take all the money from your film, or most of the money from your film, and so you gotta. That is a time to be ruthless in your selection.
Oh yeah.
We fortunately got a good one. I'm sure you guys have some war stories to share on that front too.
Yeah, I got a couple. I just got out of a 5-year contract that had a film locked up, but if I'd have read the small print a little closer.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of sharks out there, so be careful. You can message me on Instagram if you have questions. I can.
Nice.
I'm an open book. But yeah, so we got good ones after vetting a bunch, and when these films, when a film with no name actors, when it sells, most of the time to a distributor like HBO or a bigger streaming platform, most of the time it's as a package deal. It is a collection of films.
Yeah.
And maybe it's packaged with some films that do have names in it. But, HBO or whoever, they have a quota of the number of films that they need to acquire, and they have to get enough properties for, these different domains on their service, streaming service. We fit into the urban thriller, and they probably had some quota that was like, well, we need to get 15 of those films this year, whatever.
Yeah, correct.
So we largely were sheltered from having to deal with all of that. Well, maybe sheltered is the wrong word, because I would have loved to have participated. Maybe gatekept is the word. But we ultimately, I think we're part of one of those package deals, and you get the portion of revenue that was allotted to your film, and so we were able to recoup our budget from that sale and a handful of others to international territories. But
nice.
Yeah, you're the dream scenario if you're an independent film. I think get a good sales agent who's trustworthy, who has done a lot of no-name indies, and also no-name indies that you check out and you feel like, yep, that's a good film.
Yeah.
And because these are the people that they'll be bundling you with. And the better the quality of the bundle, the better the likelihood that you're going to get onto one of those good streamers.
Nice, man. I appreciate that. A lot of people don't talk about things like that, and man, I'm glad you was able to share that with us, man. It's just like every time you ask the question, they just like zip up, and it's like, all right, man. Well, we're all in this small pond together, man. We need to grow together, and sometimes you need a little bit of that extra information. So, no, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
100%.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention. I just wanted to mention that I can appreciate. I noticed in Simmer that the language was not strong at all, but yet you still seem to keep the story and the grittiness of the realism of the situation, right? And that's kind of a goal that I'm working on for my next film, because the one that we have done did have a lot of bad language in it, and this next one I don't want any bad language in it. So I just really appreciate the way you did storytelling without having to have a bunch of nonsense in it, as far as vulgarity and nudity and all that stuff. Was that something that was intentional?
Yeah, I think that I think that a lot of those things are used to try to make a bad film seem like it's good.
Right. I agree.
I think that they try to use it as makeup on something, putting makeup on a pig.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think that you can a good story should stand on its own. I mean,
there's a lot of comedians like that.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, I that drives me nuts when the comedian thinks that if you scream the F-bomb, that's funny. It's like, it's just the lowest hanging fruit. It's just like, what is supposed to be funny about that?
I totally agree, and that's one of the things I regret on the movie that we made, was the language was horrible. As far as the vulgarity, that is one thing I do regret about the film, and that's why the next one is definitely going to be, that's my goal. Right. And I've been looking at it as a challenge, but you kind of just inspired me to be like, it shouldn't be a challenge, because a good story is a good story, and you don't need these things to ground it in reality. Because, if you just take the story that you have and you just make it happen, you don't have to add a bunch of, like you said, lipstick on a pig, right? Because if it's crappy, it's crappy, it's crappy, So I just want to say I really appreciate that about Simmer, man, because I do try to find films that I can watch around my children, but are still good in story, and I don't have to worry about a bunch of, I can't even watch my own film I made in front of my kids, but I can watch yours. I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I think it's all in what the story's got to tell. I mean. There were some dark and gritty situations in Simmer, but you know, it's just it didn't need that extra level of it, because you could tell by the way it was written, the way everybody was acting, and everything like that. Like, I mean, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. Like, you didn't have to have that shock value. Like, you knew what was,
Well, what I'm saying is I feel like somebody that doesn't even think about that could watch that film and not even realize that there's no curse words in the film. Yeah, like if they watched it, they wouldn't even pick up on unless you pointed out. Like, man, did you realize or what? To where now, because of the mind frame I'm in, I do watch films and the curse words stand out to me now, because it's a goal of mine to make films without all of that, right? So. I gotta say, bravo, man! It really was good. It's such an inspiration, man. Your film, you have no idea, because the idea, as far as not the plot, but the idea of how you did a gritty, grounded film without vulgarity and all the nonsense of the world and what they try to make seem normal. I cannot applaud you enough for pulling that off, because that is exactly my goal. These boys can attest to it. That I'm like, this next film, I want it to be grounded and realism, but without all the nonsense. And then here you come popping on the show and watching this film, and I'm like, man, this guy makes me mad. He's got it all going on, man. So, bravo, bro. It's a huge inspiration, bro.
Thank you.
I can honestly say.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and it's funny because on set, I remember our actor playing Chef Marsugio, who I love to death. He's such a good guy, but he wanted to swear in every take, and I just kept telling him, I was like, "Look, man, I know it's hard, but this is a PG-13 movie,
Yeah.
and maybe even a PG movie, except for like the thematic materials,
Right.
And so we would just say, you got to run it again." And there were some times that it still snuck through, and in post, we had to do a little maneuvering to get around it or whatever. But yeah, we knew that we wanted to do that, and interestingly, my next film is also, it has no vulgarity, it has no sex, it has no drugs.
Wow.
It is extremely gritty and very dark. I think that there's enough interest, enough interesting things in the human life to be to reflect upon without needing those things.
Well, I tell you what, you got a you got a
yeah.
lifetime fan with me. I can
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you that, because those are the type of films that I like. I can honestly tell
Ah,
you,
I
man,
appreciate that.
that is awesome. That is a thing that you want. And I'm telling you, man, that's something like my first one. I messed up, right? I let things go and kind of went with it, but I made it my goal now to not. And then meeting you and watching your film and knowing that that's your motivation in the film as far as keeping it a PG without vulgarity and nudity. I think that's awesome. You know.
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was funny. HBO, when they released it, we never went to the MPA to get like an official rating. And when HBO released it, they put it TVMA. And I remember I was like, what? Like, I worked so hard to not make this TVMA. I don't know what's the deal. So we still ended up getting, the equivalent of an R-rated rating,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
I felt like
wow.
was a little bit unfair, but
For sure.
that's okay. I think
Yeah.
anybody who watches it, like you said, a lot of people wouldn't even realize that it's not. But
Right.
but for those who care, if there's a moral reason or something that you don't want to watch things with that, then hopefully they could feel comfortable seeing this film while still getting something that's pretty gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely did. It satisfied me. I could tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, that's great.
I listen. They're looking at me, gentlemen. I want to make sure that you guys don't have any other questions.
Oh, he's mad we took over the show.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
We done hijacked the
you
show.
You forget. I called you and said you watched this movie.
Yeah.
Right? I was all about this movie.
No, I'm definitely excited. Like, I was excited to talk tonight. Excited to see his film, and I'm also excited to see the next film. I keep with everything. Yeah, I just want to keep seeing more.
Yeah, for sure.
That's basically.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
That's really kind of you. It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
I will warn you, it's a very different film. The next one, and it really just it still has to deal with family, and it has to deal with what it means. I don't know if you guys are fathers, but when
All three of us.
that awakening that you have when all of you, yeah. So you guys know, like, there's a hard awakening when you're young that your parents are not perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the awakening that their parents were also not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this kind of existential horror of waking up and realizing that you've got kids and you're not perfect.
Yeah.
And how are you going to screw them up? And
Yeah.
so, that's the question at the heart of the film of, whose fault is that?
Well, I have to say, my mommy does watch this show. Mom, you're perfect. All right, I just got to throw that out there.
Yes, of course, yes.
Nah, for sure, man.
We all knew that. Her included.
I love my parents too, but they still call me a fool every day for picking up a camera.
No, you're just a fool in general.
Hey, that's all right, man. I love filmmaking. I love storytelling, but I'm also a fan of filmmaking storytelling. Like, it's just.
Well, Stefan,
that's my art and my books. Like, a lot of people in their house, they got books, they got libraries. Bro, you walk into my house, it's dedicated to cinema. Because that's the world I love.
Well, Stefan, you've definitely got some fans.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm breaking up a little bit again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
I can hear you guys a little bit. Oh wait, it seems like it's coming back now.
Yeah, I'd act like that too if Travis just started talking like that. I'd act like.
Well, can you hear us now, Stefan?
I can hear you, but it's cutting out a little bit.
Huh. Yeah, you're coming in crystal clear here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap it up, Stefan. So is that okay?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can keep going. I apologize for all the technical difficulties.
No, we're getting
it
ready.
happens.
We're getting ready to close it out. I just wanted to make sure that you were good with that. So I'll go ahead and start it fresh here. Well, Stefan, you got some lifelong fans, at least within this show. So when you get on traveling the world with those festivals for one of us, definitely reach back out to us, and we'll get you back on here, and we'll talk about one of us as well.
For sure.
I already got it saved in my contacts. So
Yep. So
I appreciate that, you guys. That's really kind of you.
Yeah.
And I absolutely will. I would love to meet you guys in person sometime too.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
You ever make a trip over here across the pond? We got you.
All right, that sounds great.
there you go.
Hold you to it.
There you go.
All right.
All righty. We'll see you next time there, Stefan. Thank you so much. Listeners, check
Okay.
this movie out. Simmer. Stefan, we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank
See
you,
you, bro.
Anytime, brother. All right.
Should ask when we get physical copies. Like where can you
Oh,
buy
where
f-
to? I can research that for us.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, no, I definitely want that on my shelf.
Yeah,
bro.
me too. Me too.
If he calls asking for a place to stay, sorry, I lied.
You better hope you're clear here.
I mean, that's going on the air anyway. All right.
Cool beans.
Great time with him. Told you were gonna like that movie.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh yeah.
Are we ready?
The fact that go ahead.
No,
you-
go
I
ahead.
mean,
What's
you-
the
I was
fact?
just gonna say the fact that his movie, as far as the no language thing, man, that's true. You know this. I've been telling you with the next one how I wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you
Well, the
didn't have
movie
to
was-
sell me none. I changed my lines to no cursing at all. So
Right,
you know,
but I'm just saying, as far as I'm just saying, as far as how I wanted to execute this next one, and then lo and behold, we watched this movie, and it's
bro,
the
the movie
same.
was on point.
It's the same foundation that I kind of wanted to move into, so it was
Mhm.
good. I feel like it was
It inspired you.
it was right on time, right? It was right
Yeah.
on time to kind of give me that inspiration that, man, you can pull these movies off without all the nonsense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
you
yeah.
know? What you got, Trav?
No, I was just saying, the movie was so good you didn't even really pay attention that it wasn't in there. Like it just, the story just kept flowing. The actors and the characters, like I said, it had that good slow burn, but it had all this buildup, all this tension from the music to the score, to your main protagonist in the film, and it was just like, man, everything was just building up. Like it really didn't need that at all. So, like I said, bravo, hats off. That was amazing.
Gentlemen, it's time for Haters of the Week.
Oh yeah, let's go. I think this guy's German.
This
I
is
don't-
my favorite time
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, I don't know.
podcast these
I don't
days.
know. I don't know if this guy's German or whatever. I don't know if he just didn't relate or anything like that. But bro, he hit our short really hard.
Oh boy, which one
so,
was it?
It's the one that says from script ideas to screenplay, my indie filmmaking journey.
So it was from Girl in the Refrigerator?
Yeah, it was from Girl in the Refrigerator.
Okay.
And my man John came right out the gate, bro. He just didn't hold nothing back, and he's like, "What a horrible photo." It's like, wow, it's bad. Not saying that you have an ugly face. Is a terrible photo selection. So I think I know what he's trying to say, but he said, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely editing that
That was
How do
stupid.
you edit? How are you gonna edit that out? I didn't cuss.
out. Okay, Trav. You can
What now?
call it turd poop. And you're saying the same thing. Didn't we just have this discussion about
Yeah.
Okay.
What-
Anyways, what's the next one?
That's the only. I mean, are we gonna have to redo this because now it's.
And that's it for Haters of the Week.
No. We're gonna talk about it now. Because I didn't curse. He didn't curse.
You definitely cursed, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you pronounced it a certain way doesn't mean you didn't curse. That's definitely
It didn't
a
even
curse.
spell it.
Okay,
I know he's cussing, but I didn't cuss.
You cussed.
You cussed.
I'll.
What was the other one?
That sounds like kung fu.
I'll say a word after we get off
Okay.
the air,
Well,
and you tell me if it's cursing. Or
Well,
not.
you can bleep it out all you want to, but
We're going
I mean,
to.
how the heck am I supposed to do hater of the week if I can't say it?
Bleep, bleep,
Bleepity bleep.
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 Well, yeah, we've done that before.
Bleep bleep bleep.
Okay. What's the next thing? Thanks, Travis.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
is-
haters of the week,
It
brother.
is now
Thanks for
time
crapping all over haters of the week.
No, bro, that was good.
It was a good. He was a hater. Screw him.
He was definitely a hater.
Subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to him. And
yeah.
what's
Oh,
his
yeah,
name?
we didn't even.
What's
John.
his name?
John Patton.
John.
He's
you're
now
a
got
hater.
9 subscribers.
He's a meanie. That's what he is.
He doesn't even have any videos.
He's a bully.
Yeah.
A bully.
And like making fun of the dude, man.
Mm.
And I was like, well, if you'd have watched the episode, you'd just know that that was a screenshot from the film.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
boo on John, not Travis.
Yeah.
I didn't write the comment.
Speaking of Travis,
Yeah.
Travis's treasures.
So now that we're getting into this, hopefully you ain't crapping on this. But, you know. So I want to ask you guys a question. And I'm serious because this is what goes into it.
Okay.
So what does the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Freddy Krueger have in common?
What do they have in common?
Directors?
No, definitely not directors.
They both makeup artists. They
No.
both take special effects.
No, I'm being
artists.
serious. No,
I'm being
I
serious
thought that
too.
was
I
a
don't know.
serious answer. My
okay.
bad.
No. All right. So no. So Ninja Turtles would have never been if Freddy Krueger wasn't around, and I'm going to explain why. So, you know, we talk about Travis's Treasures. This is an indie thing, right? So before Freddy Krueger was even created, there was a company. It was a distribution company called New Line Cinemas.
No,
So-
I remember them.
So
Friday.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have had Friday neither.
Mm-hmm.
So they was, like I said, there was distribution. It was like in the early '60s when it was founded. The owner, Shay, I messed up his whole name. It doesn't matter on that point. But
And that's
Shay
it for Travis's
No.
treasures.
No, because y'all got me thrown on the other stuff. So, anyways, he was 23 years old when he founded the company, Robert Shea. All right. So his company was putting out like propaganda films and stuff like that, kind of like what the news does today. And it started to build it, but the company was going into bankruptcy. So there was another horror film that came out. It was Chainsaw Massacre. So during that movie, while it was out, it lost all its rights. So New Line Cinema hurried up and quickly went out and grabbed it, and then they put it and re-released it into the theaters. So they went from a distribution company to, it wasn't even a studio because they didn't do anything but, release the movie to the theaters. But because of that, they started gaining traction. Everybody knew who New Line Cinema was. And then along came Wes Craven with this script for A Nightmare on Elm Street. And, now it's history. It's all, that is the studio that, they call it the house that Freddie built. So by speaking about that, with New Line being independent, Wes Craven at that time didn't even have any notoriety. He had only done a couple films.
He hadn't done Scream yet.
No, not even anywhere near it. But Scream is Dimension, so it's not New Line. So,
Yeah, but it's Wes Craven.
yeah, it is Wes Craven. So, like I said, by doing that movie, it sparked something. and it started growing that company really, really, really huge. And because of that, and they kept that independent nature, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came in the early 90s. A lot of people think that that's a big studio film, but that film is also very independently done through through New Line and Jim Henson's factory and stuff like that. So I just think it's really, really cool that if they didn't take the chance on Chainsaw Massacre and Nightmare on Elm Street, some of our beloved films through New Line Cinema, you talked about it, Friday. There's a lot of popular stuff. Now that company got acquired, through Turner. And Turner sold it over, so now Warner Brothers has it. So any kind of horror movie or anything that you see, it's just a subsidiary company now through the Warner label. But everything that built through those times, from the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s before they were sold, there was a lot of independent, films that came out of that company. So I just think it's cool that we wouldn't have Ninja Turtles if Freddy was never created.
That is Travis's treasures.
Very good treasure,
See?
Travis.
That was a lot better. Sorry, Robert. I feel bad. He ain't never gonna watch this.
So
You have a Western review.
all right,
That was terrible.
Trav, what'd you think?
Bro, I'm a fan of it.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. This is a Western movie. Who says Western and horror cannot collide together and create something that's like? 'Cause I'm telling you from the trailer, bro. You're thinking, you're seeing Tombstone too.
Right.
That's what got me
And
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Zach,
what got you.
So Zach,
It was a good movie.
Zach, what
It's a
did
good
you
movie.
what did you think about the situation in the cave?
It couldn't have turned out no better.
Like what
Really?
happened? Like what was your favorite part about it?
When they started to, when they first walked in.
Yeah. When they first walked. Okay.
Zach, did you watch this movie?
No.
Dang. Get to the mic, bro.
Bro,
I tried.
Yeah, how did you try? Did you get past the trailer?
I forgot.
You didn't forget.
I forgot. I ran out of time. I made a note.
Yeah, now he's just gonna end the show because
Is that what we're doing? Yeah, because
Yeah, you
who's your new
spoiled it.
shout? You had one shout out. Give it to him.
okay. There's gonna be a lot of edits for this one.
No, that's
No, I'm
fine.
leaving
All
that.
right.
Yeah, leave it. Who's your shout out?
So
You should be prepared for this.
I-
It was just.
Oh yeah, I should be
just get it-
prepared.
all you had to do is take a
You need hooked
screenshot.
on phonics. You
All
get on me
all you
about
had-
what somebody
all
writes.
you had to do is take a screenshot. There's my person.
No, I was already
Y'all
ready.
better hurry up before I run out of time.
All right.
Tighten up every
Well,
chance you get.
we had an announcement to make too, but y'all are trying to edit the
Okay,
film.
hold
Oh, yeah,
on.
what's
So
the
our
What is it?
one new follower this week, Mr. Noah Hutton.
Ah,
followed the podcast.
Okay, thanks, Noah.
He's followed us.
Appreciate you.
He's followed us on other stuff, but the reason why I bring that up, so we got a partnership deal with Noah,
Mm-hmm.
and this is pretty big, and I want to break it on live because, like I said, this is going to be showed here in the future. So come April 1st, boys, we going to Times Square.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have the Big Hammock Podcast right there in Times Square on a billboard. So anybody from New York that listens to us, when that ad goes live, man, shoot us a couple photos of it. We want to see, make a big deal about it, tag us into it, throw it in the comments and stuff like that. But I mean, that's just one new step that's getting a little bigger and bigger.
Or if you want to sponsor a flight,
Yeah,
My
it's,
Cash App.
cash
I mean,
app.
we can do Spirit.
Zachary Shear, 87 or whatever.
It's $60 there and $60 back, so $120 for 2 hours and 37-minute flight.
I'll drive.
Well, we'll see. I'll already been to the billboard and back by the time you make it there.
I'll
That's
fly.
fine. I'll
Yeah.
drive.
Zachary Shear 8. You can go ahead and.
I'll
head
do
up
marketing
there.
on the way
Zachary
up and
Shear
down.
8.
Yeah, and then we got one more announcement. We're about to sign a contract here tonight. Get everything all in there. We're gonna be on a actual podcast network. they're gonna throw us a few coins this way to the
You mean
show.
we're gonna make some money?
A little bit of money.
You ain't making no money.
Yeah,
but
no, the
show
show's
some
making money. Yeah. Sorry, Zach, you don't get the check. But no,
Man, when we gonna get that kind of money?
well, you know, that's going to come later through this, but I think it's really nice, man. Alex reached back out to me. He apologized. We was talking in the beginning of the year. He's got a big platform that everything's on, but the network itself is small. So the podcasts are really handpicked. So he's watched it. He's tuned in. Their company's in Jacksonville. Right after the show tonight, I'm going to finish the submission form and all that. I'm going to shoot him a message. And as soon as I shoot him that message, man, he's going to plug us into that network. So that's just more guests, more everything that's going to be coming. And it's going to be a lot easier. I mean, I love doing the emails the way that we do it, but everything will be structured through that format. It'll have everything lined up for us. So, I mean, that's exciting stuff.
We're also making an appearance somewhere.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Oh, yeah. We're showing up in Ocala.
The Bigfoot
You talk about
conference.
me
The
being
Bigfoot
ready.
conference. The Bigfoot conference.
We'll be at the Bigfoot
Tighten up,
conference.
Zach.
It's entertaining when I do
June
it.
Oh, okay.
13th.
Huh?
June 13th.
I forgot
Oh,
he's
I
the
didn't
face.
realize it was-
Yeah, this is in
That's
the future.
3 months from now.
That's all right. We
Well,
gotta
by the
start
time this
prepping
comes
now.
out,
Yeah.
good
It could
point.
be the next day.
Yeah, good point. We'll be there.
We got to get
World
merch.
Equestrian Center.
We got to get some merch. We
Yep.
got some DVDs getting ready. We got 200 ready to
I
go.
am so looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to going to this since you told me that it existed.
Yeah.
That's-
yeah, it's
And
going
we
to
gotta-
be fun.
We got to bring up, like, how do we get into this?
Are you
Our
getting into what?
executive producer, Chaz.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Chaz. Still doing his executive producer thing.
He's never clocked out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
Thank
clocked
you,
out.
Chaz. Thank you,
you.
Chaz, for sure.
Mm.
All right. That's going to wrap it up. Listeners, like, share, subscribe, comment, follow YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart. Purchase the movie at thebighammock.com. That's one word. See y'all next time.
TheBigHammock.com.
I told you I was saying that word.
Travis, I can't believe you.
I'm
did
just
that.
glad you don't stink this time.